Hello there and welcome to Corey Loses, where today we're starting a brand new, not really a preview playthrough, there's nothing we're specifically previewing, but a brand new playthrough for the channel in Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War. So unfortunately recently we did have issues with our last Imperial Civil War playthrough where my computer stopped working and I ended up losing the files for the playthrough. Patrons voted and we chose the Empire of the Hand as a replacement playthrough. For that, we do have the CIS one ongoing still. But this is being recorded live on Twitch, so there won't be any notification stuff from it. My whole stream layout is still needing to be rebuilt after all this stuff with my computer. But we're going to be playing on hard Kamask Crisis, so a 5th era GC as Empire of the Hand. The Empire of the Hand, we almost never, we've done one playthrough before, and we do very little in the later eras. I'm trying to think of what else we've done, and I don't think there's really been much. Alright, let's go in. Thanks, Trident. Hello again, Commander. Our plans have been proceeding well. However, it is time to redouble our efforts. Thrawn told us to watch for his return a decade after his departure, and that time is nearly upon us. We must unite the galaxy before the threats from the unknown region, etc. go and kill the things and stuff. That's gonna... The Empire of the Hand... I don't think they get the starting overview thing, so a lot of that is going to need to change. I'm going to be restructuring a lot of the era text in the next little while. But before we get into it, one of the things I do with the preview playthroughs or just Thrawn's Revenge playthroughs in general is for people who are patrons of the channel as well as Twitch subs or channel members. So the YouTube channel members, which is basically like being a sub on Twitch, they have the option to name a ship in the playthrough. There's a link in the description to the full way that works. Patreon is basically a voluntary subscription service, allowing people to support content creators that they enjoy, and it's a huge part of why I'm able to do this as my full-time job. So if you enjoy the content and you want to get a ship in for the playthrough, again, there's a link in the description for that. So we're going to get into it here. I have all the patron units except for 1 or 2 set as starting forces. I swapped out the regular starting forces with them. So I think there might be 1 or 2 that are not in yet. Oh, I know why. Yeah, so we're going to record the first 2 episodes here in this first bit. Actually, I'm going to edit this. So those watching on Twitch, you're going to have to wait a second. But for the YouTube people, it'll be going back right in a second. Alright, it should be good now. But either way. Yeah, so let's take a second, just sit right there. And we'll figure out exactly where we're looking here. So our starting position is pretty good. There's not a huge amount we're exposed to, but... Oh, I need to make sure that actually pauses. So the Empire of the Hand doesn't have their government stuff yet. It should be coming after... Well, we're focusing on the Fall of the Republic stuff first, but the Empire of the Hand is going to be part of a broader update to the unknown regions. So there's going to be some other factions out here. There's going to be some other planets out here, and we haven't decided fully on a lot of the specifics of how they'll work, but it will probably have something to do with the GIS. Let's split up our heroes. You can go here, you go here. Send you guys to that one, and we'll build another fleet for Stand. but this should be fine.
Tactical battle imminent.
We're also looking at updating a lot of their designs and models. There's a new Intigo design, which was a ship that was put into Ascendancy a long time ago, but I was never happy with the asset.
Choose your reinforcements.
So it's been redesigned already. I'm going to try to put up the concept art that Valerie did for that, so you guys can see what that's going to look like, and all the ships are going to get updated. Right, this one we've got Backhand of Thrawn, I think.
Reinforcements en route.
Technically, this should fit on the screen. Yeah, this is Backhand of Thrawn, but because of the AI debug information, it doesn't. A lot is being added to the End of Fate. A lot is being added to the descriptions to help players know what stats everything has, but when the debug information is on, it can be a bit much. This is just a regular chaff. This is Halifax. Alright, we need to get some fighters in here. Fax Dog of War. Handy Hand Helper.
Flank speed. Holding fire for maximum effect.
Heavy cruiser.
Which one is this? This is Owl Cathedral.
Heavy cruiser moving out. Reinforcements en route.
No!
Awaiting your orders.
Target locked. Eliminating target. I'm on them.
Engines disabled.
I was too lax.
Excellent shot. I got one. I have them now.
Owl Cathedral. I'm sorry.
Locking on.
We might not be able to rebuild them in the first episode here, but
Coming around. Enemies in range.
I will make sure that anything missing gets put in for episode 3, because we're recording episode 1 and 2 here. Alright, let's turn around. Which one is this? Is that a lightsaber in your pants?
Coordinates received.
Right now we're having some issues with the raid fleets, where some of the scripts attached to them are not
Got him on the run.
ending your ability to retreat properly. Which one was this? This is Balosaurus. Poor Owl Cathedral. Oh, no, they are here. Leonidas is there. And so is Owl Cathedral. That's good. Oristrom. So, Empire, you're supposed to be sad and weak right now. So if you'd rather just, or if you'd like to just not do things.
Right away, sir.
Orders confirmed.
Alright. Are we going to have to fight that off? I think so.
Tactical battle imminent.
19 strike cruisers.
Choose your reinforcements.
All right. This is our planet. They're not gonna be like parking under a station. So, Balosaurus. Get in there. Regular Froro. Backhand of Thrawn. We'll drop Dog of War,
Destination confirmed.
Handy
We're on
Hand
our
Helper,
way.
and Halifax in on the back
We'll be
there.
there shortly.
Knowing the unknown.
Reinforcements en route.
Let's get Admiral Scythe in a safer but still effective place. Soontir.
Reinforcements en route.
Is that a lightsaber?
Reinforcements
Just a
en route.
regular chaff there. And we can get two Naruto. So Thrawn's Revenge. an art of war.
At maximum unit capacity. Production.
We'll try to hold off the fighters here first.
For the Empire. Intercepting.
You guys all want to get in there.
I'm on them. Stay in formation.
Destination spotted. Setting course. Reporting in.
I got one. I have them now. Locking on. I'm on them. Enemies in range. Ready to go, sir. Target locked. Coming around.
Yeah, so the weirdness around the raid fleets is a bug. It's a lot of bombers flying at us. You guys need to go in there. Here we have the classic, another one down. We do have someone actively working on new VO stuff now, finally, so that just reminded me of that.
Heavy destroyer stands ready. Heavy assault cruiser ready.
Let's get rid of these Lancers.
Stay in formation.
And
Fire. Commander,
some Psycho Bombers, and on this side.
Standing by.
excellent shot.
Decoding your transmission.
Nowhere to run.
Target back on.
Them now. Locking on. I'm on them.
Awaiting new instructions, Commander. Awaiting orders.
Draw their fire.
Holding fire for maximum effect.
Thanks. Heavy destroyer stands ready.
This is going to be a playthrough where a lot of the early moves really matter.
Heavy assault cruiser ready.
Eliminating target. Target. Coming back around for another run.
Okay, you bombers need to be over here.
Decoding your transmission.
Alright. We're just going to keep a chaff, or keep both chaffs on some of these strike cruisers.
Awaiting new
And you're going to keep killing that.
Acquiring target. I'm on them.
Broadsides.
heavy assault cruiser ready. Taking fire. Engaging enemies.
Holding fire for maximum effect.
Scythe, get in there.
Decoding your transmission.
Alright, they're starting to jump out some of those.
Get behind them.
You're going to keep covering for this phalanx.
New instructions, Commander.
I think that's Belosaurus.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Eliminating target. Coming around.
Decoding your transmission.
I'm thinking for this particular playthrough, I'm going to do the recordings live on Twitch and keep the CIS ones just locally, if you will.
All batteries awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Intercepting. I'm on.
Because I do like having that kind of dynamic, but I don't know if I want to do it for every playthrough. And I think alternating it like that kind of works. It's been a while since I've done any sort of Twitch streaming too. But
Coming around.
Decoding your transmission. Heavy assault cruiser ready to receive orders.
Enemies in range.
so I guess with the reworking coming to the Empire of the Hands
Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Intercepting.
overall roster, this is a bit of a goodbye playthrough to their old style. Not red IST looks weird. Yeah, the oh no, our first loss. The Fall of the Republic markings are going to be prominent in a lot of people's minds right now. Alright, we can.
Reinforcements.
Decoding your transmission. Heavy assault cruiser ready. Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
I think our fighters are really what's going to be keeping us in this battle. So I want to make sure that there's not too many Lancers chilling around here somewhere, which there doesn't seem to be.
Heavy destroyer stands ready. Destroy those weapons. Ready.
Launching attack. Full
Alright,
speed
you guys
ahead.
can get in a little bit closer.
Decoding your transmission. Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Reinforcements.
This is a big part of the Empire's fleet, too.
Stay in formation. Get behind them. Have them now. I'm on them.
Decoding your transmission.
Taking fire.
Heavy assault cruiser ready.
We're gonna lose knowing the unknown.
Coming around.
Heavy assault cruiser ready.
Locking on.
Targeting at maximum firepower.
Sights.
But
Our engines have been
can we get another scythe?
Enemies in
decoding your transmission.
Choose your reinforcements.
Hand of Fate, you can drop in and help.
intercepting.
Awaiting new instructions.
Well, they're getting a lot of strike cruisers up. I thought they only had
Heavy destroyer.
4? No, 3. So maybe it might have been only looking at one type. Either way,
Holding fire for maximum effect.
so you can protect that.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Locking on.
Star destroyer at the ready.
Star
destroyer comms open. Decoding your transmission.
Okay, there were the mix of ISD-1 and ISD-2s.
Choose your reinforcements.
Heavy assault cruiser ready. All batteries fire.
Enemies in range. Target locked.
All right, Fell,
Awaiting new instructions.
get out of there.
Moving into position.
You need to
We'll be there shortly.
probably move back a bit. Can you move back a bit too?
Receive orders.
Target locked.
Thrawn with approval. Heavy assault.
If we can save that, then that'll be nice. I can't use the single unit retreat ability on patron ships because they don't have the script attached.
Our engines are gone, sir.
Attaching it would be
Stands ready.
very messy at
Our
best.
primary engine system is down.
All right, let's try it. Okay. I'm really not liking how this looks.
Decoding your transmission. Heavy assault cruiser ready.
Formation.
We've lost our turbo lasers.
Awaiting new instructions.
Get up forward a bit.
Heavy destroyer.
You get down a bit.
Coming around.
You get forward a bit.
Awaiting orders. Advance.
Furion, Scarsis.
Ready to come, sir.
More enemy craft. Taking fire.
Target star destroyer at the ready.
I mean, I talk about this being a big drain on them.
Coming back around.
This is going to be horrible for us. This is bad for everyone who's not the New Republic, which are the strongest faction at the start of this GC.
Cruiser ready.
Right away.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Excellent shot.
Where'd he go?
Ready to receive orders. Firing sequence engaged. Decoding your transmission.
Got one.
Orders on mission. Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
I'm on.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Coming around.
Decoding your transmission. Assault cruiser ready. Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
All right, you guys onto that other one.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Moving out.
Decoding your transmission.
Turn around.
Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Keep your file to them.
Ready. Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Getting up.
And get these octuples.
Enemies
Destroy those weapons.
locked. I copy.
All right,
Intercept.
not a lot of
Their
losses.
laser cannon.
New instructions, Commander.
Thanks, fighters.
I'm on them.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Eee.
Your transmission.
Get behind them.
Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Them now.
All right.
Target locked.
I could have brought in our interdictor earlier, but I was afraid of losing everything there, so. We lost Art of War, a Furrow, Handy Hand Helper, and Knowing the Unknown. So really a Chaffin, Naruto, and a Phthonia. That's not... I'm okay with that. So let's get Knowing the Unknown back, Handy Hand Helper, and let's queue up the Zolosian 1.
Constructing unit.
That just leaves HSS Leonidas.
Location locked. Heading out.
And you have your own fleet now.
Orders confirmed. Heavy cruiser on standby.
We really shouldn't have them start with so many Kairovs. Like, they're an anti-air unit. But they're just everywhere. Alright, I am going to save fairly regularly with this. Yes. Stream's only been going on for about 20 minutes so far. I'll try to cut out a lot of the saving from the VODs, but with the Empire of the Hand, the main thing is the ground rework, but a lot of their space stuff is changing. Pretty much everything except for the Peltist is changing design, and a lot of the class names and class functions are changing. All right. Save complete. What is my favorite faction? The Empire of the Hand's actually my favorite. They're arguably the faction that needs the most work, like, polish-wise. Well, they're definitely the faction that needs the most work, polish-wise. You could argue the CSA needs more work content-wise, but they're also, like, a niche faction to begin with. So I don't always necessarily agree with that, but the Empire of the Hand is the one that I get to have, like, I've had the most freedom with, because I've done most of the designs for them. And that's changing now that Valerie's gonna be doing proper concepts for stuff, but some of it still does get to pull from ideas I've had or what I'd set up already. So
Yes, sir. Moving out.
and I like the story behind it too.
Roger.
T4B ready.
We
Reporting in.
secured a build pad.
Alright, we're gonna send Ashik out to get that the
We
sensor.
lost a build
Roger
pad.
that.
We secured a build
We
pad.
really only have one good vehicle right now for this. But the New Republic and the Imperial civilians are going to be fighting a lot. So let's see what we got to work with here.
We captured an abandoned sensor array
Sensor array.
Adjusting navicomputers.
at maximum
Moving out.
unit capacity. Production
Squad,
halted.
move out.
We've lost a build pad.
How many hours have I played on Empire at War on Steam? I think I'm at about
Destination is
1500.
acknowledged. G4B mobile.
Bombing run available.
They've only got the two structures here, so it'll be a relatively easy one, I hope.
Awaiting orders.
Alright, let's
away,
back
sir.
up to
We've
here.
lost a
Squad,
build
advance.
pad.
The MMTs are going to be
Computers locked on target. Moving into position.
We secured a build
Copy.
pad.
our anti-vehicle. So let's actually just get back to tanks and our heroes
Order acknowledged. Yes, Commander.
can hold off the infantry.
Construction
Well,
complete.
our
We've
MMTs
lost a build pad.
try to just nuke them from orbit.
Form up. Underway.
Empire at War allows movement in multiple directions, in multiple directions. 2 is the only one that's really
Almost there.
effective other than 1. But the thing is, there's no preference for it
We've lost a
that units
build
end up
pad.
having. So I kind of would want to take that into account with
Reporting.
new unit designs,
Affirmative.
where we have more freedom to make sure that that stuff makes sense. So have stuff that works
Awaiting orders.
bi-directionally.
All right, men. Take cover.
Copy, sir.
Which the MMT actually does decently. The actual chassis is fairly symmetrical. You just have the extra tread on the back. It looks like they're trying to keep their vehicles away, so
Ready. Moving to that area, sir. Yes, sir. Roger.
Bombardment available.
Bombardment on the barracks. But the Empire of the Hand had a lot of their ships inspired by the Empire. Those ships don't look... So that's not really true. Like, there are some ships that we have more Imperial inspired, like the Chiss Star Destroyer, or the Ascendancy Star Destroyer and the Chaff. But it's kind of like, if you look at the Clawcraft and how that compares to the TIE, there's some elements there, but it's not a full adaptation.
Heading out.
Like, there are very clear differences,
Heading assault.
and
Copy.
a lot of the ships the Empire of the
All out,
Hand
troops.
used
Yes,
would have been from the Chiss Ascendancy,
away.
not from the Empire, and the Chiss wouldn't have had like any Imperial inspiration from their designs.
Run!
Alright. Killed most of their stuff. There's only a couple soldiers left there.
System complete.
This was their most isolated planet, so...
Course
I'm gonna
plotted.
drag some of these
Adjusting navicomputer.
other ground units around.
Course plotted.
But like, if you look at the unit roster, so there's a few Star Destroyer types, like the Chaff, the Interdictor, the Naruto, which is a Star Destroyer split in half, and then you have the Prosvoli, which is like Chiss, an Empire of the Hand modification on the Dreadnought heavy cruiser, which the Chiss would have had exposure to from Outbound Flight.
Unit in production.
But like with the Clawcraft types, it's not supposed to be like a 1-to-1 for Imperial stuff.
Adjusting navicomputer.
Right. Sten's fleet is the...
Course plotted.
Destroyer at the ready.
Underway.
Kustai, we're going to turn that
Beginning
into
construction. Building under construction.
a military
Beginning
base. Trade
construction.
ships.
Right away, sir.
Kethold, we're also going to turn into
Beginning
military
construction.
production.
Cruiser reporting.
And, oh, Pesitin's actually going to be a good one for us to go for early. Thought the Empire of the Hand was part of the Empire that went to the Unknown Region to conquer it, but instead left the Empire. Not really. There are Imperials that started it, like Thrawn took small amounts of Imperials with him, but the majority of the Empire of the Hand is other factions from the Unknown Regions.
Tactical battle
So
imminent.
oh shit. So there's Imperial material and personnel that Palpatine was filtering out to Thrawn for the like scouting missions he was supposed to be doing and setting up galactic defenses, basically. But the Empire of the Hand was far more associated with the Chiss than with the Empire. It was not officially part of either, though.
Star cruiser here.
All right, we're just fucked with this. We've got Megador here. We've got Pelion here. There's
Choose your reinforcements.
yeah, there's no way we win this one. So there's basically a core of Imperial officers that are there, and some Imperial traditions that come from it. Like, there was a 501st within the Empire of the Hand, and there was a Stormtrooper Corps, but they tended to be a bit more elite, especially the 501st, which was not the 501st itself, but like a reconstituted one. And then after Palpatine died, there was no one in the Empire who really knew what Thrawn was doing, and most of the stuff they had was busy fighting each other.
On our way.
So the Empire of the Hand didn't really get much from them afterwards, except for individuals like Soontir, who Isard sent off to Thrawn to kind of appease him. Actually, you know what? Since there's going to be a raid fleet, this could be our
Choose
best
your
option.
Reinforcements.
Let's get Blue Man Troop,
We'll get there.
Impatient, Ace Striker,
Ascendancy's honor.
Indefatigable,
Thrawn
Nasty
engaged.
Rogering, Thrawning Chissy Fit. I like the name. Dagon is
Right
Bahamut.
away.
I've gotten into D&D a lot this year, so I like that one too. Premier's
Location locked.
Revenge.
Heading out.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Fighters.
Moving out.
Kestrel.
Heading out. Fallout.
Tender Bender. There we go.
Calculating jump to light
But yeah, so I'm gonna do a full lore
Reinforcements
video
en route.
on the Empire of the Hand for
Reinforcements
datapad.
en route.
Damn, got out.
Reinforcements en route.
At some point. I'd like to do it sooner than later,
Destroyer
because I really like the
standing by.
faction. Empire of the Fight, you can get in there now.
Maximum unit capacity.
Ooh,
Production
this is gonna be...
halted.
This is like the best case scenario for us.
Star
But yeah, so...
Destroyer at the ready.
The Chiss had their non-interventionist military policy, which is a big part of why... like, no first strike doctrine, which is a big part of why Thrawn
Ready.
got into trouble with them a lot, and was the big thing he didn't agree with. So Thrawn was largely acting in the interest of the Chiss,
Yes, come on.
but not with the blessing of the
priority is
Chiss.
laser cannons.
So in setting up the Empire of the Hand, there were a lot of Chiss within the expansionary defense fleet and Chiss society as a whole who knew what Thrawn was doing,
Squadron here.
but officially it wasn't sanctioned, and it was outside the purview of the CEDF. But in addition to the CEDF, the Chiss had household militaries, and Thrawn had a household phalanx that was officially part of the Empire of the Hand, and people, or Chiss, would come from the Ascendancy and join the Empire of the Hand.
Awaiting orders. The lasers are our target.
Target locked.
Then around the
Shot.
end of the Vong War, or the mid-Vong War, there was some weirdness with the authors who had
Open fire.
varying understandings of what the Empire of the Hand and the Chiss were meant to be. So they kind of conflated it, and then it turned into kind of a lore mess, where it seemed like the Empire of the Hand was gone for a while, but then Jag brings back the vanguard of the Empire of the Hand when he takes over the Empire. But what seems most likely is that the Chiss elements within the Empire of the Hand kind of went back to the Chiss. The Imperial elements just sort of stayed there and got some sort of association with the Chiss, but the Chiss Ascendancy would never have really been interested in adopting all the literal hundreds of sectors and dozens of alien species that the Empire of the Hand was governing, so they would have probably remained some sort of loose coalition. But again, that's going to be the topic of a datapad video. So if you're not subscribed to Corey's Datapad, and you're interested in these pointless lore topics,
The Empire.
then you can subscribe to that for some reason.
Enemies in range. Target locked. Ready for command, sir. Getting a lock. Eliminating target.
All right, Gilad,
I'm on them. Stay in formation.
Gilsad Pelion.
Your command, sir.
Get
Moving to
behind them.
coordinates.
I have them now. I'm on them.
Were the Nova troopers removed from the game? Yeah, so we're redoing a lot of ground combat, basically everything in ground combat right now. So having a bunch of infantry types that don't really serve unique purposes while we try to figure out the roles for things doesn't make a lot of sense. It's the kind of thing that may be re-implemented later when we know which direction it's all going in, but until then it was not something that really needed to stay.
I'm on them.
Bomber squadron reporting.
TIE squadron standing by. Stay in formation. Attacking target. Get behind them. I have them now.
Star Destroyer cross open.
Alright, see if
Forces. Go after the
you can
stragglers.
pelt your way ask them. This is probably going to come down to our fleet versus the peltist.
Order confirmed.
Near is...
Coming around.
You're going to need to turn around.
Ready for battle. Instructions received.
Decoding your transmission. Ready to receive orders.
Click. More enemy craft. I got one.
Broadside frigate here. Star Destroyer.
With most of that fleet gone, this seems like a risk I don't want to take.
Calculating jump to light
We could
speed.
probably win, but I don't want to give up
Taking fire. Commander,
too much of our stuff now. We got a lot of the Imperial Star Destroyers down. Megador is going to still be around, but whatever. And we'll probably go straight back in.
By the Ascendancy's honor.
Construction complete.
The SSDs are actually pretty much to scale now. Like the Megador there was properly to scale. The Executors are still shrunk a little bit. But...
Construction complete.
Oh, they moved Megador. But they're 11 ISDs long. The
has been spotted.
Executor. Does the Empire have raid infantry in Thrawn's Revenge? No, no one really does.
Choose your reinforcements.
Or it's very rare to have it. Alright, Impatient, Glandular. I know it's the flower. Okay, that's not what I wanted you to shoot at. A Striker, no one get known. Throwing a Trissy Fit.
We're
Here
moving
is, you can
out.
go in there. Indefatigable.
Drive engage.
Alright.
Ascendancy at the ready.
You may as well just start shooting at that now.
Orders, sir. We've got him on
And
the run.
man troop. Okay. Now that we've destroyed their trade station, they see there's no point in fighting us.
Go after them.
Alright, so I think that's actually going to do it for the first episode. We're going to record one more here on this stream, but I'm going to save between that. So, for all of you watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Hope you are looking forward to the playthrough and that you enjoyed this first episode. Again, if you want to look into getting a ship in the playthrough, become a patron of the channel or a channel member using the join button on the screen there, or a Twitch sub if you're watching the Twitch stream right now using the subscribe button on the screen there. There's a link in the description with all the information on that. But thanks again for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye.